let me begin. 1 minute, please wait. So yes, let's begin the video. The video is about photosynthesis overview part 2. It is a part 2 of the video. If you haven't seen part 1, then please, the link I will provide in description. Please see the part 1 before you see this part 2. So without wasting time, let's begin the video. So let me recall or recapitulate about photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is a process in which inorganic substances like carbon dioxide and water are converted into oxygen and organic substance called glucose. So now in this video we will talk about types of photosynthesis. So there are two types of photosynthesis, not types exactly, two steps in which photosynthesis occurs. So these are light reaction and dark reaction. Now what's the basic difference between light and dark reaction? By the name it's clear, the light reaction occurs in presence of light. Means if light is not supplied, then the light reaction couldn't take place. But dark reaction can occur independent of light. But there is a thing to notice. It is not necessary that dark reaction will occur only in night. It can occur also in day also. But it can occur independent of light. Means there is no involvement of light in the process of dark reaction. So let's study about light reaction. What happens in light reaction? Basically, light reaction is a preparatory method. In this light reaction, the things are prepared that will help in production of glucose, and mainly the production of glucose occurs in dark reaction. So what happens in light reaction? Basically, as we know, water is supplied by the roots. The roots absorb water from the soil and then it sends it to leaves. So the water which is absorbed by the roots, it is converted into oxygen. For two water molecules are converted into one oxygen molecule, 4 hydrogen ions. Ions means, what is the meaning of ion now? Ion is a substance that is charged, a simple molecule, that a simple atom, when it is having a charge in it, that is called ion. So it is forming 4 hydrogen ions and it releases 4 electrons. And it occurs only in presence of sunlight when photons are light particles. When photons are released by the sunlight and this chlorophyll captures that photons, then it converts water into oxygen, an oxygen molecule, 4 hydrogen atoms and 4 electrons. Now what is the use of these 4 hydrogen atoms and 4 electrons? Because we know oxygen will be released out. There is no use of oxygen now. It can be used in respiration, but it will not be used otherwise in photosynthesis anywhere else. So what is the use of this 4 hydrogen and 4 electrons? These 4 hydrogen and 4 electrons are used in the production of NADPH and ATP. Now what is NADPH? NADPH is a very important compound. It is an energy source compound containing electrons, and ATP, as we all know, adenosine triphosphate. NADPH, we can say it is like this: nicotine, adenine, diphosphate, hydrogen is something like this. It is so NADPH and ATP, and it is formed by NAD plus and ATP. Now what is NAD plus? What is the difference between NADPH and NAD plus? The basic difference between NADPH and NAD plus is that NADPH contains an extra hydrogen, whereas NAD plus doesn't contain that extra hydrogen. So we can say NADPH is a reduced form of NAD plus, because we know when hydrogens are added to any substance, then it gets reduced. So NADPH is a reduced form of NAD plus, and ATP is adenosine triphosphate and ADP is adenosine diphosphate. So the difference between ATP and ADP is clear by the name, that it will contain one extra phosphate than the other. So in the plant, these are contained as a raw product. These are already available in plant, and this thing we get by light reaction only. We can get this thing otherwise. ATP we are getting as energy, but the plant can use this ATP only, which is produced during light reaction for dark reaction. Now what happens in dark reaction? Dark reaction, as we have said, it occurs independent of light, but the one thing should be noted, that it cannot take place without light reaction. Means if light reaction will not take place, then dark reaction can't take place, but light reaction can take place without the help of dark reaction. Now why dark reaction can't take place without light reaction? The reason for this is that NADPH and ATP are necessary for dark reaction. Now that are obtained only by light reaction. So this is the main thing that is required in dark reaction. Other than that, CO2 CO2 which is obtained by stomata. When stomata spores take carbon dioxide from outside, they use CO2 and NADPH and ATP for the production of glucose. Now how it is produced, that full process is called Calvin cycle. I have made another video on Calvin cycle. If you want to see the video, please see it. It will tell you about the process. And of light reaction, I will make a video further, so you can see it later on. I think so next video I will make of light reaction about the topic. So now NADPH and ATP are used for fixing of CO2. NADPH or nucleotide adenine diphosphate hydrogenase and adenosine triphosphate are used for fixing of CO2, means they are converting CO2 to form glucose, and it occurs only in presence of chlorophyll. Light reaction also occurs in presence of chlorophyll, but here the chlorophyll acts as a catalyst. Here the chlorophyll acts only for absorbing the sunlight, but here it acts as a catalyst. And there is no requirement of light, as I have already told you that there is no requirement. In light reaction it is required, but not in dark reaction. But it cannot take place without light reaction, as I have told you about this. It is also called Calvin cycle. As I have told you, Calvin cycle, it was discovered by a person known as Calvin, and that's why the name was kept on his name. Now dark reaction or Calvin cycle, we can say, is of three types: C3 cycle, C4 cycle and CAM cycle. We can also say C3 pathway, C4 pathway or CAM pathway. Now what is the difference? C3, that I will explain in my future videos. Now why they are offered, why they are used? Actually C3 pathway is there. It is normal pathway for most of the plants. Most of the plants use C3 pathway. C3 pathway is generally known as Calvin cycle. Means if we are using the term Calvin cycle, it is for C3 pathway. C4 pathway is done in the plant, in the areas where there is less carbon dioxide as compared to oxygen. We know it is every time oxygen is more than carbon dioxide, but in some areas the concentration of carbon dioxide is very less. In those places C4 pathway is adopted. And CAM pathway is used in acidic area and arid regions like deserts. It is used in those regions because they don't want to open the stomata in daytime, because that will lead to a large amount of water loss. So that's why CAM cycle is offered. So I'm going to make a video of these two topics and also of light reaction. I will make the next video of light reaction when I will make a video of photosynthesis. So if you like the video, please subscribe my channel and also click on the like button. Click on the bell icon if you want to get the notifications of my channel. And if there is any mistake or anything, any improvement you want in me, please comment me. Thank you for watching the video.